right, we want to welcome everyone to another episode of Douglasville Impact, our community podcast. We have another great show coming at you today and some fun topics. We're going to talk about some news, talk about some events, but then we're going to talk in depth about something we've mentioned a couple of times on the show before, the upcoming census, which is super important. So let's go ahead and jump in and introduce everybody at the table here. I'm Jason Post, your host. Joining us again is Employee of the Year, Aaron Sarawis.
Hello.
Mr. Ed Dean with the County GIS Manager, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And Mr. Ron Roberts with the County Planning and Zoning.
That's correct.
But you guys are here today because you're kind of leading the charge for this whole census.
We're just part
count.
of the team getting the message out, Jason.
Absolutely. So we're going to talk
humility.
in depth about the wondrous work that these guys are doing. But before we get to that, we got a couple of news items, a couple of events coming up that Aaron's going to
couple of both.
talk about.
Couple of both, yes.
Excellent. What we got going on?
So we're happy to announce that our finance department just earned the Distinguished Budget Award from the Government Finance Officers Association, the GFOA.
Sure.
Yep. So this is this is actually a big deal for them. They spent pretty much all year kind of crafting the budget document, working on that to submit it. I think that it's a pretty intensive process, and they have to go through quite a review process and stuff like that. So it's a big deal for them. I think that's the first one that we've gotten.
Yeah, so that company. So this is a bigger. So every year they come in and say, "Hey, we got the so and so GFOA award," but that's like
Right.
a standard award that they get every year, right?
They get that for the comprehensive annual financial report, the CAFR.
We do everything right, so we get whatever that is.
Right.
This is something different.
Way different. So I think they have to compile everything. They send it to a committee, and I think there's like a panel of like 10 board members for this GFOA board. They go through it. They have a rubric, and I mean it's not like it's a small document. It's like a 600-page document or something like that. So they
4-inch 3-ring binder type documents.
Right.
Yeah.
And every word pretty much is kind of vetted, and they go over it quite extensively. So. It was funny. Shane came in and was jumping up and down. He was so happy that we got it. So it was
Do
pretty
they get
big
to go
deal.
to compete at nationals now?
I don't know how it works.
Absolutely.
I think they were just
this
looking
was
for
regionals or
that. Yeah, right. I don't know.
To Vegas?
I don't know. That would be nice.
Yeah.
it's a
but-
big thing. Yeah, they were finance people.
Yeah,
when they
right.
come in jumping up and down, you're like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah, right. Spreadsheets. That's all I hear. So, but anyway, it's good for them. That's very good for
That's
them.
awesome.
And then so last week, the mayor and council built their goals and objectives for 2020.
That's right.
They had a strategic planning meeting on February 7th and 8th.
2 days.
2-day meeting.
Intensive planning.
That's right. So they talked about everything from what's going to happen, what they want to happen with the old mill, down to the old jail, and pretty much everything in between where
Parks,
they want
renovation stuff.
Yeah.
More about that. And
Right.
all
So
kinds
they
of,
pretty much gave us our marching orders for 2020.
yeah. More good stuff.
yeah.
Some of the stuff that I saw. Yeah, 2 days of presentations from staff and outside agencies and stuff to talk
Right.
about what's
WSA
important.
is always in
was
there. I think ARC might have been there.
Yeah,
and
GDOT was there giving an update. Georgia Department of Transportation. Throw out our little, we
Yeah,
throw the
that's-
letters out all the
that's
time and
right.
forget that
The
not everybody
people,
realizes
yeah.
what the
Yeah.
alphabets mean. Georgia Department of Transportation was there giving an update on Highway 92,
That's right.
and it was good stuff. It was like we're about to see like sections of that project open in the
Open
next
up.
Oh, really?
couple of months, and another section opening toward the end of the year, and next year seeing the full project kind of almost
completed?
ready. So it was a very positive update from Georgia Department of Transportation on 92.
They've done a lot
Yeah.
for the county.
Yeah.
They really have.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been a long time on that one specifically, but yeah, good stuff's about to start really happening there.
Yeah, which is exciting.
And that one project creates so many different things because
Sure.
it talks.
Right.
And you guys know when you're talking about the maps, you got the area of 92 that will now become a local road again, and the area over on Fairburn Road that will now become a local road again. So they talked about what to do with those, and we have to look at name changes.
Sure.
And things like that because Fairburn Road will now be. The new part of 92 will still be Fairburn Road in 92, and the new part of 92 over here will still be Dallas Highway in 92.
Yes.
So we can't use those names anymore, so they have to come up with new names. So that kind of stuff, they covered a whole lot of that stuff. But yeah, the 92 stuff was very positive,
well, and plus
very exciting.
we're kind of waiting for that to be completed to move forward with a lot of our projects.
projects.
On the north side.
North
and
Side
everything like
redevelopment
that.
stuff.
So,
Jesse Davis Park, which is right there at all that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, they got
Good luck trying to get
lots
into
of Jesse Davis
right
Park
now.
renovations coming too, but
difficult.
it's kind of waiting on the Highway 92 stuff to finish up. So But it was a lot of very positive stuff. So they got some good stuff coming down the pipe. This year we'll start seeing a lot of action on those things.
Stuff happening, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's good. And then the third and final news piece is kind of a community news. So Congressman David Scott appointed some high school students for the military academies
That's
in
right.
the United States. And we had three of his 19 appointees across the state were from Douglas County.
Yeah.
So we want to congratulate Gianna Adams. She was nominated for the Air Force Academy. Chancellor Charles Halbert was also nominated for the Air Force Academy, and Cameron Foster was nominated for the Naval Academy. So that's a big deal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had a family member considering it, and it's a big process to go through and try to be nominated. So it's a big thing.
Yeah, we've got a lot of city staff who are former
Former
military
military.
and serve
That's
in
right.
different branches as well and stuff. So yeah, they see the importance of that, and that's a cool thing. Those are big.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are difficult to get
Yeah.
into. So
Yeah. Very nice.
that's what we have going on. We have all kinds of things going on all the time. So those are just kind of the top three that stood out for the last couple.
Those are the
of
big
weeks.
ones. Yeah. For all the rest, douglasvillega.gov gets you to the website. You can stay up to speed on all the other stuff that we may have missed.
That's
in this
right.
one. So that's the news. What about events?
What's coming up? Well, it's 2020 has been the year of ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings and all that stuff. So we have two more.
It's just like February.
Yeah, right. So we have two more. So actually, this afternoon, the downtown lighting project, phase 2 of that, we're going to be cutting the ribbons. So they hung some string lights over the alleyway behind Plaza.
It's one of the Plaza sections.
Right.
Yeah, we did it a few years back on Plaza West over here, I believe.
Yeah,
We
I
did
was
some
trying to think
lighting.
of the directions. but
It's a DDA project, Downtown Development Authority project. There I go again. So this is just a continuation. They've got some nice lighting features they've added.
so
over
it's
that
right by the
space.
lending libraries and the downtown gaming area.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So
That area right there behind the stage and everything.
right.
Yep.
So
that'll be
staying on that trajectory, the new public services building will have a ribbon cutting on Monday, February 17th,
Correct.
and that is for basically their fleet and all that kind of stuff.
Nice building for their fleet maintenance and
Right.
stuff like that. All the fleet vehicles that service the entire community that everybody loves to see, that takes care of everything that happens in our
Right.
community. This is for that. This
Right.
is for them. The everything from the garbage trucks that run to the specialty trucks that help with road cleanup and things like that. So now they actually have a good facility to take care of those and
Right.
for all of their staff and everything. So they were in dire need.
If you've ever seen their
Yes.
facility on Club Drive, this will be a big upgrade.
They were
for them.
in definite need of a new facility.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So
Very
that's
good
good. And then finally, we have the Behind the Veil showcase.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That will be at the conference center on February 23rd. I believe that's a Saturday.
Anyone interested in getting married
So-
anytime in the near future, or know anyone that does, is, or has, or if you just like wedding stuff, they've got it all there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm done with that. I did that. So
You're done.
I'm
Yeah,
good.
it's done.
Yeah, one and done for me.
Done.
So
I hear you. Absolutely. So if you know anybody, though, yeah, your friends or something.
So I think the producers back there might be saying that February 23rd is a Sunday.
Oh,
That is
hey,
a Sunday.
Sunday.
So
Right.
yes, it is on a Sunday. My apologies.
So are we right on the day or the date?
Both now.
Okay.
February 23rd is a Sunday.
Excellent.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Great.
Shout out to producer Steve for keeping us on track out there. Good job. Thanks, Steve.
We'll give a shout out to Chris back there too.
Webmaster Chris.
Yeah. Right.
We'll give you this preliminary information. Always double check us on Chris's website.
Please do.
Visit the website, douglasvillega.gov, and Webmaster Chris will give you the accurate information.
And I believe our show notes will have all of this information too. So
yeah, we're just talking. We
Right.
don't-
yeah.
So, all right. So let's move on to from whatever we're talking about that may not be accurate to these guys who actually have accurate information and factual stuff that they can tell us and share with the community. So, all right, Ed and Ron, tell us. You guys are both here representing the census. We've talked about the census a couple of times on,
Right.
on the show leading up, but give us the real rundown.
Okay, so every year since 1790, the United States has done a census. In fact, It's actually the 6th sentence in the Constitution. So they made sure that we included enumerating the peoples before we even had freedom of speech. We're going to be doing it again this year. And the participation levels in 2010 were 74% in this county. That's not great. 76%, I think, in Cobb, 2010. But when you think about the fact that $13.6 billion is coming into Georgia alone, and there's 159 counties. Douglas County is the 17th largest in terms of population. We want to get our fair share, Jason.
Absolutely.
That's right.
And so that's what we've done. I'd like to, the importance. I can't be really underrepresented here because it goes not just to apportionment and to how people vote and how those districts are determined, but it also, like I said, it goes to the funding. And when I say funding, that means you guys were talking about those transportation projects. Wasn't that lovely on
Absolutely.
92? Let me tie this back in. And isn't it beautiful when we drive down 20 and see all the trees being cut back?
That's right.
And that's really opening up for the county, and just being able to have those funds. That's all part of the census.
Yeah.
Schools. I was at the schools yesterday, as a matter of fact. Went and talked to some Title I teachers and getting the word out, because when you think about, and this is a back of the napkin estimate here, but somewhere between 25 and 32 million dollars that we could have had we had a full participation 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Now that's quite a difference right there. Medicaid, I mentioned, SNAP program funding, obviously the schools. Let's see, there's a whole litany of these things.
I don't think people realize that the numbers that are collected here touch almost everything that we do.
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
we look at those, we look at the populations, we look at everything from schools and stuff to development. When people are talking about, hey, I want this, I want that to
You
develop
want
my
this.
community, they're looking at populations and stuff.
Right.
They're looking at numbers. That's what it comes down to.
It does.
Everything, funding, grants, opportunities, it all comes back down to numbers.
I want a Trader Joe's.
Right.
Well,
Okay.
The Trader Joe's, they're going to look at those census
Yeah,
numbers
sure,
too.
absolutely.
That's right.
So everything that the economic development staff does for the county and the city is tied to that. We had a presentation to the chamber breakfast this
Yes.
past week,
Yep.
didn't we, Ed? And so we took some of Ed's staff was able to take in GIS all of our PowerPoints that we were still running around 1990s with flash drives and load them into Storyboard for us. And we also loaded on a couple of videos, one from the census and one from Madam Chair, Dr. Ramona Jackson-Jones. And we put that on there, and it's on the link on our webpage. And also, inclusive with that, people, so if you're hearing this, understand we need you to go out and do your census forms. But more importantly, we need you to go out and tell your neighbors to do their census
Yeah,
forms,
right.
Yeah.
and those neighbors to tell their neighbors.
And your friends and
Yeah.
people
And so
you go to
on,
church
and
with,
so on.
Not be said
and
enough.
who you're shopping.
And
Oh, yeah.
and this census, they're doing it. You can do it online.
Right.
You can do it by phone, or you can request a form. So there's 3 different ways now. So
They're making it as easy and accessible as possible
They,
for
they
everyone
are
out there.
And
Absolutely.
what Ed's speaking about is, we've got these little cards. I just got 50,000 of these delivered yesterday, okay? And so I brought some over for y'all to distribute here in the
Absolutely.
city, about 5,000 of these. The bulk of these went to WSA. A big shout out to Gil Sharehouse and for
Right.
letting us put these in the mailers.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because they have 39,000 unique email addresses in the county that we were able to get these into. And also the new mayor, I can't remember, it was Mayor Reese, now the new mayor in Villa Rica.
Right.
I want to thank him because Madam Chair spoke to him, and we got these in their mailers for their water bills
Yeah.
at Villa
That's
Rica.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Douglas County, we've got Douglasville, we've got a portion of Villa Rica, and a little bit of
a little bit of
Austell
Austell.
A couple houses
that are all
in Austell.
included.
Maybe
that are all
10.
included
Yeah.
in this kind of joint effort to make sure that everybody in the whole county is represented.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think one of the hardest things to do when you're doing a census is getting the word out to fill out the census. And that was one of our
Yeah.
things. We created a couple of applications to show areas, low response areas. You know, what are we going to do for these areas to get the word out? Hey, we need to, you know, fill out the census. So that's what I've been working with Ron with is trying to get the word out, you know. Go into these areas, you know, populate them with these handouts, you know, mailers, whatever to, you know, notify them, hey, the census is coming up and we need you to fill this out.
Right.
If you don't, we miss out on the funding.
Mhm.
But if you do, it really helps out the community.
So to me, one of the most, it was estimated in the 2010 census that 5% of the population, 5% of children under 5 were not counted. All right, that is probably the biggest sin there is, and I'll tell you why. Because if you're a 5-year-old and your parents don't include you on the form, that means that the services, in this case, 26% of the
Right.
services you could have gotten if we had gotten a full 100% in Douglas County, you're going to miss those for the next 10 years of your life till you're 15 years old.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and so that's kind of what we've hit when we started the kickoff a year ago. April 1st, 2019, we did the kickoff because April 1st, 2020 is Census Day, and that's coming up. So we did a big kickoff. Aaron was there.
That's right.
Did the PowerPoint for the commissioners and had people come over. We've got another event planned February 29th, Unite for Census Day, kind of a last big push, trying to get everybody back. We had formed complete count committees back in 2019, have been working with them. I want to shout out to some people that aren't here. Tiffany Stewart Stanley, obviously
She's
helping
been a
me.
big, yeah.
Tracy Crooks was brought on by Madam Chair to help to wrangle the complete count committees to target specific undercounted populations like non-English proficiency, children, gated communities. They gave us a playbook. You know, the government gave us a playbook. All we had to do was just kind of follow it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were fortunate that leadership has seen the need to put some funding behind these opportunities. That's why we have these little tchotchkes. I got some chip clips and some things like that that have the census information
Get it out
on them,
there.
so we get
Yeah.
them out in the public. Like last year when you guys did the Wednesday wine.
Wednesday wind
Stay
down.
wind down.
Wednesday wine downs. We were out here with the fans, and
That's right.
oh my gosh, Ed and his whole family came out. We had my family for the July 4th
Yeah.
parade.
Wow.
Dude, that was insane. I had never been to the parade here
We
before.
ran out of fans halfway through.
Right.
Yeah.
But I had boxes of them. Somebody, I said,
Yeah.
they said
hundreds of them.
How many?
Thousands, maybe.
Yeah, there were thousands on the dock. I was like, let me go get some more. Because when we left, we're like, how many people attend the 4th of July? They're like 2,000 or 3,000 people. We hit that like
Halfway.
Wow.
halfway, and it was hot.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yes.
But
Yes.
and so we still have some of those, and we're going to be rolling back into it. So this is the last. It's the last big push. We want to promote with you guys those last couple activities that we've got coming up, and see what we can do to get out into the communities. We've, like I said, that link on Celebrate Douglas website includes a Spanish version, which is very important. We want to make sure that's I can't hit this enough.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I wrote this down, so I mentioned it. The census is actually 100% safe and secure. There is absolutely, it's a federal law for any of the census employees or any of the data that's collected from the census to be distributed or utilized in any manner.
Right.
Right.
People have an aversion. They think they're going to get their social security numbers. That's not what they're asking for.
Yeah.
It's count everyone once, count them in where they are, and wait, that's not count everybody once in the right place, and make sure that the data is collected. And it's not. It has nothing to do with immigration. There's nothing on there about that. It has nothing to do with the landlord finding out that you have 4 people living in your apartment.
Right.
It's none of that.
They can't legally access any of that
No.
information.
No.
Landlords or otherwise can't.
And
So-
we think that's one of the big barriers, you think? You think there's a level of fear where people are paranoid a little bit about providing their information?
I think that to say that there might be distrust of government
Sure.
in this day and age,
Just a little bit.
it's just a little bit,
Yeah.
and it's just, it is what it is. This is where we're living, but this is
Right.
not the
Yeah.
format to protest. Not doing your census form is not where you
Right.
strike a blow against politics. That's where you're shooting yourself
Yeah.
in the foot
Yeah.
if you don't do it.
This isn't a striking a blow against government. This is affecting your community and your
Mhm.
neighbors and yourself.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that
And
just,
standing up. I
Yeah.
mean, this is the one time. Normally, like an election, you're picking who to vote for. Well, this is where the districts are formed, and,
Yeah.
and that,
Right.
that
Yep.
apportionment and all that stuff is decided.
this is what gives you your voice
It
to
is.
do that. This is the point where you stand up to be counted to say, this is when that all happens. Yeah, so that's why this is the important time to stand up and be counted, no matter what.
No matter what,
Right,
Jason.
right. Yeah.
Please
Yeah,
get out there, get it on your. Take the information from the website. Take the information when you see it. We're in the libraries. Libraries are a national partner for the census.
Yeah.
I mean, they're huge. I think that was one thing when we actually had some of the census employees that came with us for the kickoff event last year. One of the stats they said was like 90% of those hard to reach individuals are within a mile or two of a library
Yeah.
or something. Do you remember that
Yeah.
stat?
Right.
I'm not sure if I'm quoting it quite right, but
I think you're right
It's
on.
close.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're real close if you're not right on it.
But so that's been huge. So we've actually had some, the library, Lindy at the
Yep. The library director. To the
library director has been very helpful. She's getting the information out. I know they've got some Wi-Fi hotspots.
Yep.
Because that's another thing
Yeah.
we wanted to mention while we're here is the fact that according to the American Commuter Survey, there are there's 20 census tracts in Douglas County, and some of them report not being able to have access to the
internet.
internet.
sure.
And some of them as much as 50 or 60%
Sure.
of the houses didn't have access.
Yep.
So,
Wow.
in an all digital census,
Yeah.
we need to be aware of that. And that's kind of what Ed alluded to when he was speaking before. We were
But
talking
they
about
can still
Yeah.
access it, like you
Yes.
said, over the phone,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
They can still get.
Yep, on their phone, computer, or mail it in.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's on these little cards that the mailers are going out to all the homes, so people know there are other ways to do it, or they could go down to to the library. One
Right.
thing I was thinking would be great to do would be some block parties, like especially down
Yeah.
in the city.
Right.
We probably need to see what y'all have got event wise coming up.
Mhm.
Maybe get some people together, and
Yeah.
and
Or
see.
you could, have a little kiosk, little tablet set up or something
Right.
while they're there.
Might as
They
well.
could
Yeah.
Knock it
do that.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also,
Oh,
and
yeah.
also on that application, if that we have on the county website that we can give to y'all to post on your website too. It has example questions, so if you want to see what's going to be asked of you
Right.
or might be asked of you, you
Right.
can go and look at those. I think it's closer to the bottom of
It
the
is.
application, but you can go and look at those as well.
I think we've uploaded the sample application
good.
on our
That's
good.
website too, just so people can see it. Right.
So and that's the second kind of big barrier you guys run into is the accessibility. So that's the second thing we're really addressing this year with the online forms, all those different options. There's a whole push to do neighborhood canvassing and stuff as well. Is that something that's part of the
Yes.
program, just to go out
And the census also, they're going to have, as soon as people start filling it out, they're going to have a map where it's real time.
yeah.
So we'll start seeing, and we'll put that on those applications as well, of where people are filling it out and where they're not filling it out. So as it keeps going down the road, you can say, okay, people in this area are not filling the census
Yeah.
out. We need to.
We need to go to this neighborhood and just kind of go door to door and say, hey,
Think
and they're
about
going to start
Yeah.
like April 2nd.
Sure.
Going out. Census people are going to be going out to your door. So if you don't want someone
canvassing,
pounding on your
friendly
door,
with smiling faces.
and you want people to leave you alone, the best way to do that is to just fill it out and get it done.
and be
So
done with it. And I just want to highlight something that I'm very proud of, and just think about what we've been able to do with what Ed just said. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of counties that are poised with that kind of data or that kind of ability to have a complete count committee sitting in your backfield, waiting for the census results to come in by census tract. being able to pivot those resources and put people on the ground in those areas to try to get the best numbers we possibly can.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
that's I don't know what else we can do.
Right.
I mean, that's superior. I really proud to have worked on this team and worked on this effort, and I'm excited about it. And to the deadlines, as you mentioned, you're exactly right. So between now and March 12th to 20th, people will start getting invitations to respond.
Yep.
And then there'll be a reminder letter, and then a reminder postcard, April 3rd, and then the canvassers start. And that's one thing we wanted to also get the word out while we're here. I've sent some emails over to the sheriff's department and some to city of Douglasville, letting law enforcement know that these canvassers are going to be out there, because that'll help with the phone calls.
They'll get reports. There's
Yeah.
people wandering around the neighborhood.
Right.
Yep.
Hey,
Yeah.
if we get 100%, we don't have any canvassers.
That's right.
So
That's right.
So if you don't want people walking around your yard,
Yep.
just fill it out.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about the dates again. So
Mhm.
you said April 1st is
April 1st, 2020
Census Day.
is Census Day. That's the big day. So that's why the digital invitations are going out now, and questionnaires are going out. And then people, like I said, people have ways to respond. Either they can do it on their phone, computer, or they can mail it in. When I talked to census officials, they said that they were going to provide a phone number, but they haven't done that yet to the public.
Yeah.
Okay.
So right now, that's why these cards only have those three ways. I don't want to put a phone number on here if they decide not to do that. But hopefully, that's normally people can respond back. There was 8 questions on the questionnaire.
Yeah, it's not many.
Yeah.
It is not.
It's
It
not
take
long.
you 5 minutes
Yeah.
at best.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and April 1st is Census Day, but I think you can fill out your census before that.
You can.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can start. So
Yeah.
it's not just
Mhm.
April 1st.
I think people can
That's
do
just
it
the big
now.
focus.
I think they can do it now.
Is it
Yeah,
open now?
I don't. I haven't.
No, I
I haven't
haven't
seen an application come to the house yet, but I definitely would check on that for sure.
Yeah.
If there's that capability to go to the website and
Go
do it,
online,
knock
go
it
ahead and
out.
Knock it out.
Right.
Yeah.
It's only
Yeah.
8 to 9 questions.
Yeah.
Take you.
And I know
10
they'll
minutes
take the
maybe.
digital questions down August 1st is what the date for that was. So, yeah, that's I remember that date. But yeah, I'd need to check on that. But
you should be able to go in soon, if not already,
Yeah.
and
Sure.
start filling out your forms and get it knocked out.
Yes.
We know that April 1st is the big push when you'll start seeing it everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when they'll start getting the data in and then looking at where the points are we need to address. And then I guess it goes through August 1st, you said?
Yeah, that's
Or-
the digital.
That's the digital
That's what they
deadline.
said in
Okay.
the information we were given. They'll have the digital component in place through August 1st.
Okay.
For people to still respond online.
And then after that, is there an ultimate deadline?
Well,
just have-
it's by law the census has to be completed and the results handed over to the president by December 31st
Yeah.
of this year. So
There's
that's
a lot of collecting and stuff and handing over
Yeah.
to be done. So the sooner the better.
Sure.
But yeah, we want to get it all in as quickly as possible. So, but that main window is going to be through August because that's where we're thinking we're going to get the bulk is the online forms, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, they really want to get to do it all digital format, but a lot of people just don't
Sure.
don't have that capability or what. So
We have seniors who are as familiar.
Yeah.
maybe,
Yeah.
and the senior population is a critical population,
Right.
Aaron. That is one of the hard to count groups.
Definitely.
Children under
Yep.
5, seniors, gated communities
Yep.
made the list
Apartments.
because they don't do their
just can't get
census
in
forms,
there.
and then you can't get in there
Yeah.
to even knock on their door. I
Right.
guess it was weird the list that when they sent it to us,
Interesting.
but
Yeah. So
but we
it's-
got a pretty. We've done a lot as staff to get a list of HOAs. I don't know. It's hard to get a list of HOAs in the county
Yeah.
Yeah.
and city.
Yeah.
We've got some. We've given it to the complete count folks, but hey, if you're listening to this podcast, take the initiative. If you're in an HOA, or even if you're not, even in your neighborhood, you want to be the census person for their block.
Yeah.
We can hook you up with some chip clips and stuff to walk around and
Absolutely.
hand out. And you get these swell 2002 census buttons. Because we came up with our own slogan. We were like the first county to jump on this.
We were. It definitely was.
Yeah, let's count.
Right.
Douglas. And
Right. There's still some communities that I've been to that I don't think the census is really on their radar, or they're not pushing it out.
Mhm.
So to your point,
yeah.
I mean, I think we've done a really good job here in Douglas County, pushing it out and trying to get people involved.
And we know that, over the past year, since last April when it kicked off, we've seen it everywhere. And it's gonna over this summer, it's gonna be even more. So and you're right. So at all the events, we've got a huge event lineup this summer. We've got concerts. We've got Wednesday wind downs coming back. We'll have people on site at those. Making sure that the information is out there. And people have opportunities at the events, to do some registration and stuff like that. Yeah, that's absolutely something we can put out there. There's anywhere people are gathered, it makes sense to have the information, have some opportunities.
and we're working. I know one of the things, we're going to have some spots that are going to be running on Comcast on a variety of formats, because we did video with Madam Chair.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be running on there. We've got signage. I want to make everybody aware, especially city, county residents. You're going to see they're 48 by 48 inch 4x4 signs, basically, which have "Let's Count" and April 1st, 2020, Douglas County on those signs. We're going to be putting those out. We've already got some on directional signs. We've got them on our digital signs. Y'all probably have some digital signs in the city that we could get this information out on too.
It's going to be very difficult to be in this community and not know that it's happening.
Right.
That's what we want. I want people to go, I just want that guy to stop talking about
I've seen all these census signs. Okay.
They're not saying that yet?
No.
They're not saying it yet?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
I don't
Nobody
know.
says that about you, as far as you know.
I don't know. Maybe I've been to the school board twice in the last 2 weeks, so maybe it's the third visit. And I can't say enough about staff over there. Lynn Murray is actually in my Leadership Douglas class. Nell Boggs, she's fabulous. They have opened the doors. They've allowed us to come in. I think March 18th. We're going to be sitting down with all the principals from all the schools in Douglas County, and Superintendent North. Everybody will be there, and we actually ordered signs. These 18 by 24 signs in English and Spanish, for the Let's Count. And so they're going to be I'm going to be handing those out for them to take back to their schools and put where like drop-off locations are. I mean, we're trying. You give me some ideas.
Right. Yeah. Hey.
If you got an idea, I mean, I'll write it down. We'll see if we can do it. We'll make it happen, because that's a big thing. We have a lovely lady, Maggie Hilario, that has been helping us with the Hispanic outreach component. She did a little video for us, and we get that out on our social media.
I think we shared.
We did. We shared that out as well.
We shared that one out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. She's got, and through the people that I'm working with at the school district, we've been able to, there was some Hispanic community meetings that she's been able to get to. That's just that's an area we really want to, we want to get to. We're all Douglas County residents, right?
Right.
Mis raíces están aquí. Okay. My roots are buried here.
Okay.
So
It's everybody.
feeling deep.
Everybody.
Deep with the root comment.
Really, really deep.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Well, what else? What else? Is there anything else we need to make sure that we're making the point of before we wrap up? And I think that
honestly, Jason, these are the kind of things that look at all this paperwork. I come here and I think, okay, I think I've got everything. I think I've said everything.
we're gonna walk away.
And I get in the
"Oh,
car and
I
I'm like,
should've told them
dang, Ed, why didn't I do that?
Yeah.
But please let's keep the lines of the city county communications open.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
And help us.
Yeah.
Help us to help you.
Yeah. This again. This is you out there. Everyone this is the time to stand up and be counted, because this is what affects everything. It impacts everything we do. We talked about the strategic plan that the mayor and council just did, and they were talking about plans for the next 10, 15 years.
Right.
This right here affects every bit of it.
Yep.
Yep.
The county's got plans going as well,
Mhm.
you know, long-term plans. This right
Right.
here affects every bit of it. Everything that we do, our school systems, healthcare, development, everything.
Everything.
Money, and again, if anybody wants to complain about, you know, federal taxes and things like that, this is how we get our
Right.
fair
Yeah.
portions
Get
of
some
those
money
taxes
back.
and stuff.
Yep.
So whatever thing you want to protest out there, this helps. This actually works toward the good of whatever. So this is the chance to stand up and make your voice heard and
Right.
be represented. We talk about representation a lot and making sure that everybody's fairly represented and equality and equity and everything that we do. This is the point. If you're not standing up and saying, "Hey, I'm here. This is my family. This is us. This is your chance."
That's a very
Sure.
good point.
Yeah.
And you know, we hit the money. We've talked about the importance. We talked about the apportionment and elections. And you just reminded me of probably the one thing I would have hit my head. You know, I had a lady come up to me, and it was something I didn't even think of. She said, you know, from a genealogy standpoint, this is a snapshot of our country every 10 years.
Oh yeah.
And so, I mean, this is where
Absolutely.
you know, I can't believe you didn't mention that when you in your spiel. I was like,
Yeah.
I will next time.
We did a I did a
If you're out
project,
there,
yeah.
I just
remember
did it.
doing that project in college.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if any of you did it. Well, now they got the things like Ancestry.com and things like that.
Right.
But, you know, when you're looking at tracing your family history and your genealogy and stuff, this is what they look at.
Mhm.
I remember going down to the Department of Records and pulling up the old censuses, and this is how you find where your family goes back to. So
Right.
it is. This is
Right.
a record of your history with your family 100 years from now. This is how they're going to find they've been related to you.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's just recording that history as well. Yeah, it's documenting your family. It's making sure things like Ancestry.com continue to work, I guess.
Yeah.
This is
exactly.
what how they find stuff.
Look at
So,
this. Aaron
yeah.
Sherowitz. He was Employee of the Year. And he lived in Douglasville.
Yep, that's right. That is
So-
right. How proud they will be. How proud they will be.
Great great grandchildren.
My ancestors,
Yeah.
yes.
For those
Future
that
ancestors.
Yeah. I mean, they'll be broadcast. They'll
you're
do
making
something.
them
That's
proud.
right.
They'll be, hey, you were talking about street names.
Yeah, maybe
I-
one
you
day.
know?
Maybe one day.
Right there, 92.
It would just have to be my
dead-end
first
segment.
name,
You go
though.
down
I
to
don't think they
Campbell
can
and take a
fit
left
my
on
last
Sarowitz.
name on a sign. So,
We're gonna have those really, really long signs
Yeah,
like
right.
Veterans Memorial Highway.
yeah, right.
Don't bring that one back.
Yeah, the GIS guy, the street guy, just shaking his head. No,
Yeah,
thank you.
right. Please no.
You want the Aaron Sarowitz Memorial Boulevard?
Sure, why not?
We'll make it work.
All right. All right. Well, thank you guys for coming out. And
Thank
talking
you.
to
Yeah, I
us
appreciate it.
And
Really appreciate the opportunity, Jason and
we-
Aaron. Really
and
do.
we will continue to get this out there. And we're going to invite you guys out to everything we have going on. So we'll make sure that nobody in Douglasville and Douglas County will have an excuse not to know about it.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll put it out there as much as we possibly can. Visit our website, douglasvillega.gov, and we'll have information there. The county's got
Celebrate Douglas.
Douglas. It's on there as well.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. It's on all of our social media pages and stuff. So
The state of Georgia has a census
that's right. The state has its own
website.
website
So
as
if you just Google the, census state of Georgia,
yeah,
that'll be the first link.
they're
that
trying to
you
make it
click
as
on.
easy as possible.
Yep, has all the information
Absolutely
that you'll
right.
ever need about the census on that website.
Yeah.
So
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you guys again for coming in and talking with us. Thanks, Aaron, Mr. Employee of the Year, for joining us once again.
thank you for all the laughs.
And thank you to joining us and watching and listening us. And we'll see you next time on Douglasville Impact.